Hello and welcome to another edition of the Gravestone Pros here in North Country Memorials. I am so glad that you have joined us today. It's going to be a good day. We're going to be talking about how we find and identify fonts and what I do when I can't identify them or I have trouble with them. It might be a little more technical, but I think it's going to be a useful video. So come along. So starting out, I've got this stone here, and right away, I'm not sure what this lettering font is. And so I was a little bit at a loss to try and figure out what it is. And I have so many fonts. I mean, literally, I don't know how many it is, but it is like hundreds and hundreds of fonts. So to go through one by one, looking through to try and find something like this, it's just sort of a pain. So I wanted a quicker way to do it, and that's what brought me here. I was just talking the other day with a buddy about Chat GPT, and my brain was like, hey, maybe I should get on here, download it, give that a try. And so I did. I got on, I downloaded what I wanted, and asked it, hey, how can I figure out what font this is? And I asked it specifically if it could figure it out, and it gave me a suggestion. But then it said, hey, these are some websites that might be more helpful. I looked up those, and through the mobile, it just didn't really work great. Got onto Google, went in, same website, pulled it up and put it in, and very quickly was able to find it and then find it in my design program. So that was very, very helpful. And it took what honestly sometimes, I mean, I will sit and it takes an hour to look through font after font after font to try and find what you need. But within probably 10-ish minutes, that includes downloading a new app, logging in, all that kind of stuff. I was able to find what I needed, and I probably could have done it just Googling and getting on and doing it that way. But I was like, hey, let's give this Chat GPT a go, and so it ended up kind of leading me to the right place. I'm not sure if it was quicker or slower than if I had just Googled it, but I have Googled that kind of stuff before and not really found the information I need. So I don't know, seemed helpful for this anyways. We're going to head over to the computer here, and I'm going to show you kind of what I was working with. The image of the stone here, and that's what I had to work with. And of course I had the stone here to go out and reference. But when I'm identifying a font, I really try and look for the small details, like how close is the top of that and the D there. What's the O look like in the shape and how thin it is there, how thick it is here. That L and how it has just this slight curve. And so those are kind of the details I'm trying to make sure to get right. And so a lot of times I will have the stuff up on a different um, screen, and then I start typing in, like I have the last name here already, and then I analyze it. And a lot of times I'm doing a lot of, pulling up close and just really looking at what does the curve look like there. What is that A curve, or right here it's kind of flat. Does that match up? Does it look right? And it's hard to get it 100%. Um, but if you kind of look at some of those small details, I really am looking for reasons that this does not work. More than I'm looking for reasons that it does work. I'm trying to look at this letter and be like, why does this letter not match the one that I've got here? And I'm going back and forth trying to eliminate rather than just looking at it and being like, yeah, that's good to go. I really am trying to be critical when I'm looking at it. So I want to type in different letters that I have over on one side and look at them on the other. Now, for something like this, right away, here I've got this J up, which I hadn't done yet. And now if we bring this J, take a look at that. See how the curve and how that is versus this one? So now I know that that is not quite what I want. So I'm going to go in. I think it's one of these Garmin fonts. That's probably saying that wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's one of those. But let's see if I can find one where the J looks more proper to what I think it should be. And I had to go, yeah, down through. Now there's getting kind of more roundish like I'm wanting, but it's also not clear yet. I had a bunch of them that were not clear. There. Now that I'm getting to them. And so I just start looking through. Now that I think I got the right font family, can I find the exact one? And here's the thing. Sometimes I will go through like this and I will not have the final one at the end. I just cannot find the exact font that I want or that I need. So in that case, what I will do is I will get the closest font that I can find, and then I will go in, I will make that text, and then I will take and do the different edits that I need to change and make the letters that I'm using the same. It's very interesting. There's a font that I really didn't know a lot about. I've got, I mean, how many did I just go through here? 70 different fonts of just this one specific one. And it's like there's so many different options. Finding the exact thing sometimes is just very difficult. Now, that looks like probably one of the closest. It's still not exactly what I want, though. I am back. Did a little more research, did a little more looking, and I was able to find the font that I wanted. Um, I think I got it pretty well nailed down. And I ended up having to buy the font because I did not have it. And it's one of those things. It cost me $10 to buy the font. And the website that I used was myfonts.com. I was able to purchase it off of them and get a license for it so that I can legally use it. And so I wanted to do that to make sure that I had the correct thing. And I rarely buy fonts. Almost always I'm able to find it and come close enough that I'm pretty happy with it, or I can take and just do a little conversion on a font that already exists to just make my own kind of custom thing. But this time I just was looking around. I was like, nope, I want this to be specific. I want it to be right. And for about a little over $10, I was able to buy what I needed and get what I needed. And again, so I used fonts.com, worked really good. Here's where I had to go. PC, local disk, programs, Microsoft Windows Start Menu, programs, and then Gerbo Omega 4. And that brought what I needed up. And from here, you have to basically, I bought the font and downloaded it, and then I brought and I put it right here. Here is the file, and there it shows it. And then I had to do this font converter. So I opened up the font converter, which popped up here, and then I looked down through. It took me a minute to find it. Once I found it, I clicked on it. Then I just hit convert. And once I did that, took a second. I went and I closed out of the program, and then came back in. Actually, I looked for it and didn't find it. So the first thing I did was I went to the font manager and I pulled this up. Okay, when I pulled it up, I went down through, I looked for the name under here, which again, 2,108 fonts. So yeah, I went down through, found the G's, and then I found it in here. Let's see if I can find it again. There it is. So I found that it was pulling up on here. Once I did that and realized, okay, it's there, it's converted, then I went and I reopened the program, went down to my thing again. This has 2,000 fonts on here, and I went down through, and then I was able to find it. And Garon Nova Pro Bold. That was it. Typed everything in, looked at it. Those things like the J. The big one that got me that I was like, you know what is different is this 4. I just could not get it looking right. I could not find one that was even close. So I was like, we're still too far away on the actual font itself. So that was the big thing for me. That I was like, I could convert just that one letter and make it, but I wanted all the rest of these, to resemble me the correct one. You've got the A here, you've got the A there. And then, so one thing I noticed typing in this font, anytime you're working with anytime you're working with fonts in general, good to check, but especially here, good to make sure that that is got the proper spacing. That kind of thing is come back to bite me before when it's not been properly spaced. So you always got to do your kerning, but especially when you're working on a new font that you're not familiar with, go over it, double check it. But I'm trying to think, was there other letters in here that were the exact same? Obviously the 4 and the 4. The 4 was up there and the 4 was going to be here at the same size, at the same, almost same place. So I really wanted to make sure we nail those. And then, of course, like I said, the A's. And I think that was pretty much the main crossover letters. A lot of the other ones, obviously, they're independent, and so if they were a little tad different, you maybe wouldn't know. But when you have ones that are the same exact letter, the same font going on, you really want to make sure they match up and they look good. So, and again, before I actually blast this in, we'll take a look at it. But anyways, this was a lot of information. Might have been a little dry, might have been a little too technical. I don't know. It's one of those videos. Hopefully somebody will find it useful. I spend a lot of my time doing this kind of stuff, and I don't get out in the shop a ton, mainly because somebody has to do this kind of stuff. And it's not always my favorite, although it is rewarding when you get to the end of a problem like this. You got it solved, you got it right. That is always nice. But some days you work through problems and you just don't quite get there at the end of the day, and that can be a little more frustrating. But something like this, it's good to know it's going to be on there, it's going to be there right, and it's going to be done. But somebody's got to do a lot of that background work, and that's my job. This is not stuff Dad really wants to do, or is, I shouldn't say he's not capable. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that man is capable of almost anything he sets his mind to, in my opinion. And he's not afraid to tackle a hard thing. But this is not the kind of stuff he enjoys doing by any means. I enjoy it more than he does. I don't know that I always enjoy it either, but this is where I am. This is what I do. Figure these little details out and these little things to make sure stuff is correct. So that's part of what I'm doing. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really appreciate you coming along. Hopefully you found it educational. I don't know if this one was the most entertaining video, but hopefully it was definitely helpful. Hopefully it was definitely educational. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you all next time.